From receiving the good morning messages to being the last app to close before you go to bed, WhatsApp has become the world's most popular messaging app in the world. According to statistics, 2.24 billion people in the world are active users of this application. The world population at the moment is 7.88 billion, which means that around 28% of people in this universe use this tool. But have you ever thought, how does WhatsApp make money? This app doesn't even run ads and it's free to use. So, how they have managed to survive for over 10 years. In this video, we will try to break down WhatsApp's business model and explain in simple words the success of this app, which nowadays is standing alone in the competition. Before we dig deeper into the different ways WhatsApp makes money these days, I would like to share some history and background about the origins of this application and its different phases of the journey. So, our story starts back in 2009, and its main protagonists are Jan Koum and Brian Acton. They met when they were both working as engineers at Yahoo. They were searching for their next job and applying to massive tech organizations. In fact, there are two very popular tweets from Brian Acton for when he got rejected, which can be found even today on Twitter, where he says, "Got denied by Twitter. That's okay. Would have been a long commute. Facebook turned me down. It was a great opportunity to connect with some fantastic people. Looking forward to life's next adventure." Ironically, who would know that Facebook, which is now called Meta, would end up buying WhatsApp after 5 years, in 2014, but more on that later in the story. But you may be thinking, how the idea of this texting app came to their minds. So, the original idea came from Jan Koum. He was an avid gym goer, and he realized that whilst he was exercising he used to receive a lot of calls, which he couldn't attend. So he thought that there should be an application which tells the state of what I am doing. So in this case he would write the status, "I am at the gym, please don't call me." So the original idea of the app was not be a messaging app, but Jan and Brian soon realized that the people started using the app, just not to give their status update, but to actually use it as a texting service. So they would update their status on regular basis, so to let the other person know what they're doing. For example, one person writes, "I'm going to the gym." And then the other person writes, "I am not at the gym, but I will go at 3 p.m. And so on. So they thought, why not transform this app into a messaging app? And that idea became extremely successful. And one of the main reasons for that was because at that time, they only had one competitor, BBM, BlackBerry messaging app. But the problem with BBM was that you had to have their phone in order to freely text each other. But WhatsApp was fulfilling that gap for Android and iOS market. In a matter of time, the WhatsApp messaging app had over 200,000 downloads, and the app became one of the top apps in the App Store. As a result of this popularity, they attracted investors as well. The most interesting thing is that a lot of WhatsApp growth came through word-of-mouth marketing, meaning that people would use the app and let others know about it, and then they would use the app as well. One thing to note about the initial growth of WhatsApp is that in that same year, 2009 and 2010, there was a boom of companies providing flat rate and free SMS packages, which as a result lessened the incentive of US people to use the app. So you would be surprised to hear that the initial spike of WhatsApp came from countries in Europe, Asia, and South America. Even if we look at the statistics today, we can see that the most number of users of the app are from India, Brazil, and then the US. So now coming back to the topic of how they were sustaining in the initial years, the incredible thing was that they were by themselves and the costs were minimal. From the investments that they received, they used that money to make improvements in the app, fix bugs, etc. And can you guess what was the biggest expense for them? The biggest expense for them was the cost of sending that message to verify you're the owner of the device. With the popularity of the app increasing day by day, they had to think of some strategy to keep up with this cost and not let the app die. The investment money was not enough to keep the business running, so they came up with another business model. They introduced an annual $0.99 subscription fee. Alongside that, they kept adding more features to the app. For example, now you could attach images. Brian Acton also was extremely clear on what he didn't want in this app, and this picture is famous, which is a note that he had on his desk where he had written, "No ads, no games, no gimmicks," that served as a daily reminder of their commitment to stay focused on building a pure messaging experience and the best in the world. The idea of a subscription fee of 99 cents became a success in a matter of years, and the company started running profitably. There's this very popular quote from Jan Koum: "At WhatsApp, our engineers spend all their time fixing bugs, adding new features, and ironing out all the little intricacies in our task of bringing rich, affordable, reliable messaging to every phone in the world. That's our product, and that's our passion. Your data isn't even in the picture. We are simply not interested in any of it." With the visible success and growth of this messaging app company, other companies started to think about buying it, and that's when a big shark enters in this story: Facebook, which is now known as Meta. Mark Zuckerberg was keen to buy the app since 2012, but it was not until 2 years later when in February 2014 the purchase came to completion, by a whopping amount of $19 billion. But you may be asking, why was Facebook interested in this application? So the answer to that is that by that time, they also had their messaging app, Messenger, and by acquiring WhatsApp, that would basically end the competition with some other messaging apps that were coming to popularity, such as Viber, Kik, WeChat. As a result of this acquisition, in the matter of nights, Jan Koum and Brian Acton became billionaires. And for them, one biggest plus point in going ahead with the selling of the messaging app was that the Facebook had agreed that WhatsApp will remain autonomous and operate independently. From the outside it looks like a great story, but the truth is that the story doesn't have a happy ending, as I'll share in a few minutes. At the end of 2015, WhatsApp realized that their growth had reached a limit, as some people were struggling to pay the subscription fee. People had intentions to move to other free apps that were available in the app stores, and WhatsApp felt that to further increase their growth, it will be important that they make the app free again. But then the major question came into play again: how will WhatsApp make money? As expected, at that point Mark Zuckerberg was receiving immense pressure from investors that had allowed Facebook to pay $19 billion. And what happened next? You may have guessed it correctly. Mark shifted that pressure to Jan Koum and Brian Acton, and after some months of difficult conversations, in September 2017 Brian Acton left the company. According to interviews, it has been understood that Brian was not content with Facebook's push for monetization of WhatsApp. And then after 7 months, in April 2018, Jan Koum also decided to step down from his role, as he was also not happy with the monetization plans and also where Facebook was planning to go with data privacy policy, which he was not willing to tolerate. So this means then that it was in 2018 that Mark Zuckerberg obtained full control of WhatsApp. So now what's next? How has Facebook been making money since 2018? Since the beginning of January 2018, Facebook has started to plan how they can serve their app to businesses. So they released WhatsApp Business. This is a free-to-download app targeting small business owners, and it comes with several specific features for business use, like catalog, quick replies, automated messages, and broadcasts. But now let's talk about the two streams that are actually generating revenue for Meta, which is now the parent company of Facebook. Stream number 1. WhatsApp API, previously known as WhatsApp Business API. API stands for Application Programming Interface, and in simple words that means that companies can use WhatsApp features to build their own apps. And in this case, those apps have access to some premium business features, such as sending order confirmations and shipment updates, re-engaging after cart abandonment, placing an order right from within WhatsApp, delivering interactive conversational experiences that engage and delight the customers, etc. I will link down below WhatsApp API page, so you can explore it on your own time as well. WhatsApp API is used by many popular companies like Toyota, KLM Airlines, Booking.com, Uber, and Wish. And the way that WhatsApp charges the companies using the WhatsApp API are: 1. The first 1,000 conversations that a company starts with its customers are free, after which a rate is applied. 2. If the customer starts a conversation and the company fails to reply within 24 hours, then a rate is applied. The rate that is applied depends on the company from where the user is. Following, I present a table which has the rates. But to put it in simple words, if a US company starts a conversation with a customer in Germany, that will cost around 13 cents, and vice versa, if the user starts a conversation, and if the company replies within 24 hours, then there's no cost that the company needs to pay. But if that was not the case, then the company will need to pay approximately 8 cents to start the conversation, which can have multiple messages. Stream number 2. WhatsApp payments. Next, let's talk about the other method that WhatsApp charges the business owners, WhatsApp Pay. This is a convenient way to send and receive money. It is worth mentioning that WhatsApp payments features are currently only available in India and Brazil. And the reason for that is because these two countries have the highest numbers of WhatsApp users in the world, in total around 600 million. So, it will be fair to say that Meta is still in the testing phase when it comes to rolling out this to the whole world. When it comes to monetization, although WhatsApp Pay is completely free for the consumers to use, businesses pay a flat 3.99% transaction fee. Talking about the future, there have been a lot of rumors on how WhatsApp can increase their revenue by adding further monetization features. There has been conversation to add ads on the status, and we've seen that being used by WhatsApp itself when they advertise new features. Also, there are multiple other ideas that can be implemented to increase revenue. Some ideas that come to my mind are, for example, paid stickers and emojis or premium group features. Finally, if we talk about how much revenue WhatsApp generates for Meta, then we don't have data available to answer that. Because WhatsApp is a part of Meta, hence it doesn't show its revenue separately. According to some reports available online, it's estimated, however, that in 2022 WhatsApp generated $906 million. And this came mostly from WhatsApp API. But again, we don't have an official statement from Meta confirming so. As Forbes once said, WhatsApp could generate anywhere from $5 billion to over $15 billion in the coming years if Facebook can implement effective monetization strategies. Only time will tell if that will happen one day or not, but I hope that you found the story of WhatsApp to be interesting and you have learned something new. If so, then please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Do let us know if you would like to see more videos like this in the comment section below. See you all in the next video. Adios.